All right, Money Vikings, Money Viking G back. I'm going to do a quick one today on our continual saga of investing and building wealth through what I dubbed the Raging 20s back in around 2020, 2021, when I realized this decade was not the Roaring 20s, but there are some similarities in terms of wealth inequality. But it was the Raging 20s because we're going to be dealing with pandemics and wars and social upheaval and changes in the global order, changes in the economy, AI, job losses, robotics, etc. So we're going to go through this time of change and turmoil together. And we have to think of strategies and ways to invest through it that, number one, keep our sanity, number two, continue to build wealth, and number three, continue to strengthen the middle class, because this is a middle class wealth building channel. And please check out my book. I'll put a link below. It's the ultimate guide, in my opinion, of building wealth for the middle class. This is for normal people to build a life of true wealth, and it is a Swiss Army knife of wealth building. It's a treasure trove packed with inspiration and ideas to continue to build wealth. So what would I be doing today in terms of strategically diversified portfolios? That's what I want to talk about. And as we're doing this video, gas prices are soaring as, again, Middle Eastern conflict sort of flares up again, as many of us have seen many, many times in our lifetime. And so we're seeing gas prices soar, which is obviously going to add to inflation pressures. It's very hard on middle class budgets when gas prices get too high. It increases the cost of everyday goods. It increases the cost of commuting back and forth to work, taking the kids to, soccer practice, etc., all that stuff. So it does have a real dollars and cents impact on people's lives. And it's probably the biggest indicator of some psychological sort of aspects of how people feel about the economy. My theory on that is it's because everywhere you drive, there's a sign with the price. And that's very rare, actually. We don't always see the prices of things as we just go around town, our daily lives. But with gas, you see it all the time. You drive by gas stations all the time, and you will take note of whether that cost has gone up or down in the last week. And obviously now it's going up. So here's a couple of areas that I would make sure I'm emphasizing as we continue to build strategically diversified portfolios. So I'm going to focus in, number one, on real estate. I still believe that for long-term wealth builders, real estate is part of a strategically diversified portfolio in some form. I do not agree with Ramit in terms of not owning a home. I think that owning a home in the long run is a good wealth building tool. Now, should people go into it, with buying too much home than they can afford? Should they, yes, they need to run numbers. They need to be well within their budgetary limits, not just in terms of the mortgage, but in terms of the insurance and the maintenance and the other costs. So I do believe in that. But there are other ways to be invested in real estate as part of a strategically diversified portfolio. And those are things like the Vanguard Real Estate Fund, the VNQ. There's individual real estate investment trusts that I think, have good long-term track records, a good future. People are going to use real estate in productive ways. And that's everything from senior housing to apartments, to convenience stores, to restaurants, to luxury properties, to hotels, to data centers, to industrial complexes and industrial storage warehousing, Amazon warehouses. Those are all uses of real estate that are productive and can be invested in really by anyone, an average investor, because those investment longboats, as I talk about, are accessible to almost everyone. So that's another area. Okay, second area I want to talk about. It is true that AI might be a little bit, well, people go back and forth if AI is in a bubble. I'm not really sure, but I do know that we should have some exposure to AI going forward as part of a strategically diversified portfolio. So I would definitely look into that. And there's obviously plenty of Even just the triple Q, which is the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ heavy investing ETF, that's going to have a lot of AI type companies in it. The next thing I want to talk about, robotics and data centers, kind of connected to AI, but robotics is another one that I would have exposure to. There are individual ETFs that I've enjoyed that do focus on robotics, but obviously robotics is another huge part of the future. And unfortunately, it's going to displace a lot of jobs. But there's really just no stopping it. If people can build a robot to do what people can do at a fraction of the cost, they're going to do it. And the last area I talk about is kind of the day, and that's energy. As you can see, the world is energy hungry. So there are ways to gain exposure to energy. There are Vanguard Utilities, there's the XLU, the energy ETF. That might be there's the BlackRock Energy Fund. Anyway, there's tons of funds out there and ETFs that have broad exposure to energy companies. And that could be anything from traditional energy to alternative energy. And I think you ought to be I think as a strategically diversified portfolio should have investments in all of those. So again, I don't give investment advice. I share what I'm doing. And that's another example of how to build a strategically diversified portfolio. So hope that helps everybody. Take care. Keep your wits about you. Be kind to each other. God bless you. Bye.